Hello YouTube, this Skip, coming to you live, straight out of Real Hard Cichlids Aquatic Kennels. In this video, I am going to expose the feral wild-caught cichlid lie told over and over to fellow hobbyists in this aquatic community. So let's jump right in to the fish facts. For a number of years now, I have witnessed quite a few people taking trips to Florida to catch exotic fish that are invasive in Florida and bringing them back and declaring that they are true wild-caught cichlids. Now, I want you guys to understand this. I am not against taking a trip to Florida and catching fish in the wild. That's not my thing, but I'm not against anyone else who does it. But what I am against is misleading the public about those fish. Also, I'm against people releasing those fish in the wild. Now, before we continue with this video, I would like for you to direct your attention to the description area below this video, where you will find links to purchase Real Hard Cichlids books, t-shirts, and other merchandise. Thank you for all your support. As I was saying, people have been traveling to Florida for years now, collecting and catching these exotic specimens, claiming that they are wild-caught species and sending them to pet stores and other retailers and wholesalers. So let's take a look at the fish facts. Let's see what's the difference between feral and wild-caught fish. But first, let me make one thing clear. When you're discussing fish released in the wild, we normally don't use the term feral. That's a term that's used for mammals mainly, and other reptile species as well, but specifically those particular animals in the animal kingdom. I use the term to simplify the explanation of the fish that is caught in the wild or released from someone's aquarium. In general, we use the term invasive species when talking about fish, and those are the fish facts. Now let's talk about the difference between feral and wild caught fish. So here's my definition of feral fish. A feral fish lives free in the wild, but have a domestic ancestor that escaped from captivity status or released from someone's aquarium. So to sum it up, feral fish are descendants of domestic fish. On the other hand, wild fish are born free and live without any filters or restrictions or assistance from man. Unlike these amp species, with the exception of the catfish that's in this aquarium, who solely depend on me. Let's dive a little deeper into the deception of feral fish being translated as wild caught fish and distributed throughout this hobby. You see, unfortunately, for places like the East Coast and even the West Coast, wild caught specimens are highly prized. And for those people who are unable to travel to Central and South America to collect these fish, there are other options for them, such as traveling to Florida, where the environment is conducive for these fish to survive in the wild, and collect these fish and sell them as erroneous wild-caught specimens. Not even taking in consideration the harm that is done to the natural environments in North America, especially in places like Florida, where some of these invasive species wreak havoc amongst the natural species in those environments. And this is why you have environmentalists doing everything possible to save the native species in these wetlands. But they can't do it alone. They need people like us to help curb the sensationalize of these fish. So in summary, what did we learn from watching this video? Number one, non-native fish are not true wild caught specimens. Number two, catching and selling these fish as wild caught could be an indirect way of contributing to the destruction of native species in their natural environment. And last but not least, be a responsible fish keeper by not releasing your exotic fish in the wild. Here's another play on words. Don't be a part of the gentrification of native born species because of your exotic species fetish. I know I wasn't supposed to say that. But with that said, this Skip, I'm out.